Okay, the STEM Academy. Why are we still working on this? And it's costing $817,000. I thought that was going to be on hold because we want to finish North first before we spend any money on the STEM Academy. We're not saying we're against the STEM Academy, but get things done first before you do that. That does not make sense to start to put all this money on the STEM Academy, and you haven't even haven't started North High School. We just met last week.
Mr. President, may I answer the speaker as Operations Committee, just on the item?
You're taking my time. My time ain't stopped.
I'm sorry, Mr.
We need to let her finish her comment.
Yes. Guys,
can we please put 2:30 back on the timer? 1 moment. My apologies. 2:30.
Okay, thank you. And then you have your chance. 2:30. No, leave it at 2:58. Okay, now, this is my understanding that, I'm just kind of confused when I see all this money allocated for the STEM school. And we haven't finished North yet. North will not get started until May. And that's only those few items that we had deemed for the planning committee. But my understanding was that there is nothing else going to be processed with the STEM Academy until we got everything else completed. So why would you spend $817,000 for this school? It doesn't make sense. We agreed that if, what's that shovel thing? That if you just shovel, you get the property. But you don't have to spend this money on that. We don't want this money spent on the academy. We want this money spent on the high schools that need to be completed. That was deemed on that board, the money. That money, this line for this STEM school was slid into that bond. And I'm telling the public now, don't approve no bond without questions for every line on that bond. Because this here slipped in here so quick, we didn't know what it meant. And still, that property will go to UCR after so many years. Come on, UCR got more money than you guys got. Let them put up the land. You know what? If you want to build the school, build it, but let UCR put up the land. Why should we take our money out and we still haven't finished any of our elementary schools, our high schools? You're just talking about Casablanca. Casablanca, we've been waiting on that for 50 years for our elementary school in Casablanca. 50 years, and you guys are still talking about it. I want to see something done before this $817,000 is put on the academy. And I want to see that money towards North High School. You still got things going on for all the other schools, and that's why, Sam, I want the accounts for all the high schools and how much money has been spent. So, but I don't want no more money spent on this academy.
May I help?
I still got time. Wait a minute, still got time. 29 seconds. So I don't want any money from the academy to be and spent nowhere.
Ms. Tribble, the 3 minutes is up. Thank you. Thank you for your comment.
So you cut me short?
No, we gave you 30 seconds.
Mr. President, that item came before. Mrs. Tribble, thank you for bringing that up, and I'll clarify for you. That came before our first Operations Committee. Ms. Tribble, that is not for the STEM Academy at an elevator. Is not for the STEM Academy at UCR. That is for the current campus, which is the old Hyatt Academy, the old Hyatt Elementary, and they have an elevator that is terrible and stops all the time. So that's a replacement for those 500 children on that campus. It is not, and it was slated as one of the items to be included in Measure O to improve the safety. That is not, thank you though for bringing it forward. That helps clarify the point, and that's why I asked.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Trustee Hunt. Our next comment is from Sandy R. Welcome, Ms. R. You have 3 minutes.
Thank you. I'm sorry I forgot my shovel tonight. There's a lot of need for it tonight, let's just say. So the irony that we are revising a policy that would remove members of the public who behave the way that Mr. Hunt repeatedly behaves. He just interrupted Ms. Tribble. He's interrupted my comments plenty of times. And yet, his inappropriate behavior, his inappropriate comments, and yet there's no discipline for him. Maybe you should check because the California School Board Association and the RCOE both have a policy on board member conduct. Funny that RUSD does not have that policy. I think it needs to be instituted because we expect that from you. You're in those seats, again, based on our votes. We expect professional conduct from you. We don't take time out of our evening away from our kids to come here to be disrespected. And then to say he was calling himself an idiot, yes, you are an idiot. So there you go. Now, let's talk about the next policy you're revising. An employee's private exercise of personal beliefs and activities, including religious, political, cultural, social, and other beliefs or activities, or lack thereof, shall not be grounds for disciplinary action against an employee, provided that the beliefs or activities do not involve coercion of students or any other violation of the law, board policy, or administrative regulation. This is clearly an attempt by you to cover yourselves should a teacher like Jessica Tapia, who is suing Harupa Unified School District because she refused to lie to parents about kids with gender transition going into locker rooms and restrooms, and as a PE teacher, it was going to directly affect her. This wasn't a situation where there was an issue with the student. It didn't even involve a student. They just fired her because she said that her religious beliefs were not in accordance with that, and they said they couldn't accommodate her religious beliefs. Well, I'm sorry, but they're going to lose that lawsuit, and this line in your policy is not going to protect you. You will lose if you do that to your teachers, because last time I checked, your freedom of religion is supposed to be honored, and you are a government agency. So you're asking someone to lie. You're putting a litmus test on teachers. You're putting a religious test on teachers. Are you saying that you want no Catholic, no Christian, no Muslim teachers? What do you want, a bunch of atheists? That's what you're doing. You're creating a litmus test for religion for teachers, and it's not okay. The $800,000 for the elevator is ridiculous. I would love to know how many bids were looked at, what the bids were, because it should not be $800,000 for the elevator. I would love to know if there were multiple bids on that. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. R. That concludes our public comment for consent calendar.